Hello everyone, welcome back. I've been doing some testing to see what happens to a bullet when it exits a house in a self-defense situation. So as we all know, most houses are made out of sheetrock, which is a very thin layer. And these drums that I've been shooting through are also a very thin layer. What you'll see me do is shoot through that first drum with the .22 pistol, and it will easily penetrate both sides of that and impact the second drum. Okay. So this isn't a test to see what it takes to stop the bullet. Well, this is more of a test to see what it takes to destabilize the bullet. And you know, because what happens when the bullet destabilizes and starts tumbling, you know, all of a sudden it's going sideways through the air, so that air friction is slowing the bullet down. And as it slows down more and more, then gravity is basically pulling it to the ground. Enjoy the videos, and we'll talk soon. Okay, and what I find is that when I shoot it with .22 long rifle out of a pistol, which has about 60 foot-pounds of energy, on the first barrel, it goes through both sides of that barrel. So let's do that right now. And I'm lining up with the rear, with the barrel all the way in the back. So let's take a quick look at this. Basically, all 5 bullets went through the front. They all came to the back. And 4 bullets happened to hit were able to hit that barrel and not penetrate it. Let me show you guys a close-up over there. All right, so I'm going to take you up to the barrel. Basically, I had 5 bullets, went through here, came out the back, and I've got some freshly marked holes over here. I can tell which are the old ones because they're circled with black. So 4 of them came through. 1, 2, 3, 4. They did not penetrate. The 5th one got completely diverted. Now the interesting thing is when I actually that might be it over here. It's a good chance that that's it right there. Let me just mark that one. Okay, when I shot this with a double up buckshot, same exact test. The buckshot came through the first barrel, blew a hole through that, blew a hole through the back side of it, hit that first barrel, and I had very minimal penetration on that. That was a lot more clear. I can see what happened. Alright, so this is what the double up buck did. Came through here, made a nice hole, went to the second drum, and basically this is our pattern right here. This basically had no holes on it. In fact, we got, like, that one didn't penetrate. It's barely penetrating. I'm going to see what the AR pistol does now. This has a 7.5-inch barrel. Alright, let's go down range and see what this did. Okay, so we got through the first barrel. We knew that was going to happen. Even the .22 penetrated this. Got to the second barrel. Alright, I fired 8 shots. We got 1 keyhole, 2, so that keyhole 3, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see how they're keyholing, they're tumbling. So coming out of that first barrel, they're coming out tumbling. Okay, so out of the 8 shots, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 I'm able to identify. Actually 7, 8, So these guys went really diverted, went in sideways, the keyhole to the side over here, and they went in that way. We see some fragmentation in the bottom of the barrel. Let's see, as far as exits, we see that they're the keyholing out. Okay, let's go to the third barrel. See what we got here. Only one made it to the third barrel, and it keyholed in, and that's it. Didn't make it out. Stopped there. So the when I shot the 9mm pistol, you know, with the Glock 17, it actually all of those actually made it to the third barrel. With the AR-15 pistol, everything's pretty much stopping on this on the second barrel. So it's making it through the first barrier, and that's pretty much where they're dying. Let me put the camera down and we'll talk more about this. So what's happening here? How come I've got two pistols here? You know, one's a 22 with 60 foot-pounds of energy. The other one's, you know, an AR pistol with 650 foot-pounds of energy. And they're both doing the same thing. Well, the one thing that we know for sure, it's not the material that's actually stopping the bullet, because the barrels are nothing. A 22 can penetrate them on both sides. So the barrel itself is nothing as far as material to stop it. So something else is stopping it. And what I'm seeing is when the bullets go through the first barrel, you know, with the AR-15, they're tumbling out of it, and when they go, and you know, when it comes out of the first barrel, in the air it's tumbling, and the air friction is hitting the side of the bullet, so that the bullet is significantly slowing down in that 15 feet between the first barrel and the second barrel. And that's why when it's going into the second barrel, it's going into it, and maybe it's penetrating it, but it's keyholing. Okay, it's going in sideways, and then when it goes in sideways, it's either, you know, in some cases it's stopping when it hits the back of that second barrel, or if it does come out, it's pretty much going into the dirt. Just pointing out, only one managed to make it to the third barrel, and that's the one that came through unobstructed. You know, just by luck, it happened to go through holes I had already punched, so it didn't keyhole through. So the destabilizing effect is the most important factor as far as stopping the bullet, not the material, because as I just pointed out, the material here is nothing. 22 will penetrate both sides of this. So we're not stopping these bullets with material, we're stopping them by destabilizing them. And I should be right there. So this is cool. Let's get the camera and let's walk down range and see what the you know, what happens to the 223 round, which is very similar to the 5.56, as it goes through these you know, these barriers. Okay, so this is my first barrier. These are all the shots I put through it. All right, let's go to the second one. Okay, so you can see after they went through that first steel drum, which, as I explained earlier, was pretty thin-skinned, the 22 is able to penetrate this. You see how they're keyholing, right? See how they all keyhole. Now, these ones that I have marked with circles, those I shot earlier. I did another video on that. So the ones without the circles are ones that I just shot. All right, so they've keyholed through. You know, I can see they came out the back. I can also see that some of the there's little lead chunks in there. So the you know, I can see that the jacket, like over there, I can see the jacket is actually came off, and I can see lead starting to peel off. Okay, so let's go to the third drum now. So for one thing, when we get to the third drum, we're still keyholing. Like I said, don't look at the holes that have the, don't look at the black circle holes. Look at the ones that don't have the black circles, because those are fresh. I just shot that. Now this is interesting. No penetration there. Okay, we got some penetration, right? Penetration, penetration, penetration. Okay, penetration, that's a new one. But we also have cases of no penetration. Okay, no penetration, no penetration. Okay, so by the third steel drum, we're starting to really bleed velocity and energy, and we're starting to drop down to the point where we cannot reliably penetrate these barrels. Okay, so basically we're below the power of a 22, and if you look in here, you can see bullet fragments that got trapped in the barrel. So we got bullets not exiting. Let's see what happens here. So now we're up to the fourth drum. Fourth drum. Okay, see, I got one over here. I probably shot that at a high angle, so that came clean through. So that probably just went through the first barrel, but didn't and it didn't go through the other two because that was just high up. But if I look down here, oh, here's a nice one. Look at that. You can see the lead, right? It just dented it right there. Okay, looks like we got some dent marks down there too. Just actually didn't even dent it, just took the paint off of it. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to use this 9mm rifle to see what type of penetration I can get through these steel barrels. What happens after the 9mm goes through multiple layers, okay, of multiple barriers. Alright, let's go down and take a look. Alright, so here we go, walking through this. This is the first steel barrel that it went through. No big deal, we knew it was going to penetrate this one. So it goes through. It actually got better penetration into the second drum. I'm not seeing as much keyholing as I saw earlier. The 223 was keyholing into this barrel. I rotated it before so that I would have a fresh spot. But yeah, you can see the earlier keyholes, how it keyholed in, whereas the 9mm, it's going in a lot more cleanly. It looks like it's coming out a lot more cleanly, and then it's going into my this is my third barrel now. It's going into that. Nice clean holes. Okay. And I can see nice clean holes out the back. Right, I can tell which are the 9mm because basically they're bigger holes. So yeah, you can see bigger holes, some nice clean holes. So definitely, it made it through the third barrel pretty authoritatively. Let's get to the fourth barrel. Okay, this is where we saw that the 5.56, or rather 223 I was testing, was getting stopped. And yeah, nice clean holes. Clean holes. That one went in sideways over here. I mean, they're definitely starting to veer off a little bit because I can see it. This one's going off at an angle. So at this point, they're starting to really destabilize. Okay, and they're coming out the back. Okay, we saw that the 223 was really not making it out. I mean, the ones that pretty much they were stopping on this barrel more or less, and anything that got into it really didn't come out the back. All right, and let's see if we got anything on the fifth barrel. Nope, I don't see any new holes. I'm using the Glock 17. Like I said, just cheap old full metal jacket, target rounds. And let's see how far we can get. see what we got. All right, we usually got through the first one. We expected that. Came into the second one. We got exit holes here. And all right, so the old circles are marked. Rather, the old holes are marked with black. So anything that you see that doesn't have a circle around it is new. So we're definitely getting to the third barrel. That one looks like it went off at a weird angle. That went off at a weird angle. So they're definitely like dispersing. So as they're coming through the second barrel and they're hitting the third one, they're definitely starting to destabilize. With the rifle, with the 9mm rifle, we saw that they had a lot more stability when they came through. Okay, so they're making it out of the third one. All right, these are the ones over here without the holes. They're making it out. Let me see, do I have anything in my fourth barrel? Looks like one making it through here. So actually nothing came down the center. Everything's kind of going off to the sides now. Because as they're coming through, they're basically being deflected off to the sides. So they're impacting rather than staying in the center. They're tumbling off. So that's interesting. So for the most part, they're being stopped by the third barrel, which is what we saw with the AR-15. I'm going to be aiming right across the top. From my position here, I can actually see right across the top to that fourth barrel all the way back. So we're going to see if there's any drop, and how much it drops. Okay, let's see how the AK-47 did on the barrels. Okay, so basically I put everything in pretty tight over here. They all came out pretty tight on this side over here. All right, then we came over here. I've marked the old holes so I can tell which the new ones are. And you can see they're already starting to tumble. Okay. So they come through the second one. We knew that was going to happen. Then it tumbling out the back of the second one. It's really interesting. In this space of about 1.5 feet, the tumbling has increased a lot. You can see how these are a lot more oval compared to the ones in the front. So then it went to the third one. Okay, it opened up significantly on the third one. 1, 2, 3. That one went in straight. 4, that went in sideways. 5, that one actually it ripped it, but it kind of, it looks like it glanced too. That one didn't quite make it. And then the fourth one, the AR-15 pretty much could not get to the fourth one. They were stopping on the third one. The AK, out of the 7 shots I fired, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 actually made it out of the 4 shots that I fired. The others deflected. Now, if you notice, they've all dropped because I was aiming right across the top, and it looks like it's dropped a foot because they're tumbling now, so they're slowing down. The air friction is slowing them down, and they're dropping. And if you look on the back side, you can see how they kind of. Well, actually, look at this. One tore out. That one just when you see something like normally they'll go through like a laser. When you see something like that, it means that they're starting to drop down below the level of a 22. That one didn't make it through. That one just dented it. Where's that impact? That's that impact right there. So by the fourth barrel, we're pretty much down to the level of a 22, or pretty close to it. But that's not because of the material, because as I showed you guys in earlier videos, a 22 will penetrate both sides of these barrels. That's 5 of them, and I did 5 earlier. So let's go down range and look at the bullet holes to see what's happening. All right, guys, let's take a closer look at this. And I've already, before I did this, I already took a look at the video to see what was happening. So you can see, this is on this side over here, that's the first group of 5 that I did. And then over here is the second group of 5 that I did. And they're exiting out the back over here. So, you know, as they're coming through this barrel, you know, they're coming right across the top. Okay, so from this barrel to the second barrel here, we got 15 feet. So in this 15 feet, these things are spinning out of control. You can see how they've opened up from here to here. You can see how they've keyholed. You can see how they've keyholed over here. All right, so these things are really spinning. All right, and then for the most part, when we get to the third barrel, right? There's the third barrel. We got, that's 2 over here that went through here. We got 1 here. That one barely cracked it. Okay, and that's it. Okay, actually we got 1 over here that went through, and that's it. Out of the 10 that I shot, we don't have much. And then after that, when we get to the 4th barrel, there's no new holes over here. We got 1 hole that's already marked from earlier. Okay, so I could see in the video that the bullets were impacting the berm. Okay, but what I saw is that they were very wide. I mean, there was a pretty big, you know, whereas I was shooting a pretty tight group into the barrel. I could see that there was like, they had opened up so that there was like almost 15 feet between the bullets impacting that berm. And some of them actually looked like they hit high. I suspect that they might have actually hit the ground first and bounced up into the berm. Okay, so that's what I'm kind of suspecting with some of the ones that I saw hit high. Because I see a lot of times when, you know, if I'm shooting at targets that are on the ground, sometimes they'll hit the ground and bounce up and hit the berm. So that looked like that. So what I think is happening is they're going through. You know, this is the second barrel here. They're keyholing through. Some of them are making it through to the, you know, just a few of them are making it through to the third drum. But most of them are either bouncing, or going into the ground, bouncing up, or going straight into the berm. And I suspect that, you know, just because they're tumbling, they're not going to go too far. You know, they're going to probably go another 100 feet, maybe 200 feet max. But I don't think that they would go any further than that because they've lost all stability. Now, going back to what happens if these bullets exit your house. Yes, they are immediately lethal as they exit the house. But again, they're not going to go too far based on the tumbling that I'm seeing. You know, and they're tumbling within 15 feet. You know, so they've already destabilized. You know, I was actually really surprised that the muzzle and the gun would tumble this quickly. I initially, what I expected was that it would at least make it through the second drum or even the third drum before it started actually turning over, because like I said, these drums are so thin that a 22 pistol will penetrate them on both sides. So that's what I have for you guys. If you guys have any comments, feedback, please put it in the comments section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.